All right. Now, the fun part. Okay. So, here's the lead. There's some lead sticks. I'm sure everybody knows about this. I wrote down some stuff here. So these lead sticks are 70-30, what they call 70% lead and 30% tin. So, like I said earlier, lead melts at 621 degrees Fahrenheit or 328 degrees Celsius. And the advantages of using lead is it's a little more flexible than plastic. Applied in thin layers. You don't want to use this to just shape the car. You want to use it to clean things up and to, just make things prettier. Sometimes it's hard to have access to a certain spot, and it's just easier to put some flux and lay some lead and file it, and it looks good. And most people don't like to use lead because it's not cheap. And most customers won't pay for it. And it's actually a dangerous product. I shouldn't be using no gloves and no respirator for this, but it's easier to just do it that way to show you. But half the time I do use a respirator, and most times I do use gloves. So basically, lead is all about heat control. And that's what a lot of people have a hard time doing, because whether you can hear this, but basically, I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to use the new stick right here. There's a specific temperature, which I don't know, but you'll know because your stick changes color. It'll start to bend. See how it's bending? See how it's turning to chrome? Well, that means it's about to fall. Look, it's about to fall. So I push the torch away. If I keep the torch on it, this piece will just fall right on the ground. But before it falls on the ground, if this panel is heated up, look, it just sticks right to it. So it's all about using heat and controlling that color of the lead stick. And now that I have some, well, I'm going to show you here. Basically, look this lead right here, how it's moving. If you move away, it won't fall on the ground. But if you keep it there, it'll just like a fraction of a second, it'll probably just slide down the panel and you'll lose all that lead. And I don't recommend using the lead that's been on the ground, even if you think your floors are clean, because then you got impurities in your lead and you got crap, and then it's just shit work. So now it's called paddle lube. It's basically beeswax and whatever. They sell these products at Eastwood or online. I like to melt mine on a piece of jean, and then I basically, because you don't want a lot of lead on your see, I haven't even sanded these paddles in a long time, and they still work great because I don't burn them. But what I like to do is heat up just enough that there's a puddle there. See how it's soft? And then that's it. You don't want a whole lot of lube on the paddle. Just enough to slide, because if you don't have any, that wood will stick to the lead stick and you won't be able to shape it. So what I do is this. So now that my lead is going to be changing color now and it's starting to move, I'm sure you can see that now, then I like to press on it. I slowly just kind of shape it. Just go like this. You really don't need that much, you know. And I go back, add some more lead. It's better to practice on a panel like this than like if you want to lead a door skin that you fix the holes or whatever, the trim holes. So see how I'm. See how this piece started to bubble there? So I moved away. You don't want to stay on there because it's just going to slide right down. And you don't need to keep adding lube on your paddle. Just when you feel like it's getting sticky with the lead, then you go and put a little more lube on there. And I'll show you how to feather the edges so that when you file, you don't have some rough edges to file, because then that's really hard to file. I hope the camera's stable, because I don't want to have to film this a bunch of times. I'm adding just a little bit of lube right now. Okay, let me show you something here. Here's the outside. This is where my flux ends. This is where I know my lead, I could start feathering it so that there's no like 1/8 of an inch thick right there, because then it's super hard to file. So what I like to do is just feather the edges real quick, like that. See how there's no flux here? It doesn't stick. That's exactly what the flux is for. So there's a big pile right here. Add a little more lead. Mr. Winfield has a really good video on how to lead. He sells it on his website. That's where I learned the basics, basically, and the more you practice, you maybe develop your own tricks, and you know, but that's just pretty much where I learned to play with the lead. I took his class, it was 6 years ago or something. You want to have it smooth, but you want to make sure you have enough thickness so that you don't have a low spot, but you gotta it's just practice. See how my pedal's getting sticky? They should be actually sanded. Probably the next time I use them, I'll be sanding them, make them a little cleaner, but using very little heat. I'm sure some people will have things to say about this, like I'm doing it all wrong, but it's been working for me. So I don't give a fuck. The older I get, I couldn't give a fuck what people think about me. So this is the way I do it, and I hope it can help you. So. I haven't even dropped a single little piece. It's all about heat control. Getting there. See, I have a lot of lead right here. I need to move that lead down. Put a little lube. See how it's moving by itself? See, it's dropping. See how that lead, there's no flux up here, so it just falls down? Getting there. I like to use the edge right here. Just trim it. I guess it's like sculpting. See how nice? So I'm gonna add a little teeny bit right here so that it's kind of a little imperfection right here. So what I'll do, something like this, if I need to put lead right here, I'm gonna start here and roll it. So then, I'm going to leave it just like that. That's it. That's the part where the lead is on now. So I'm going to show you another trick that I have while it's still hot. Be right back. Another trick is all this wax. It's kind of a pain. So what I like to do before I file, first of all, it's got to cool down. But I like to heat it up a little teeny bit, get rid of all that wax. Because the wax gets in your file and you don't get a good grip, it slides. But you don't want this too hot, because right now I just took a little bit of lead off. It was too hot, see? So there you go. So now we're gonna let it cool off and we'll be filing it.